that you can't miss a single thing for yourself or for your kids. That while they're there, they have to have on the perfect monogrammed outfit with the perfect bow and the perfect backpack, and everybody's got to be clean and shiny. That you have to go on the right trips and take the right pictures and send out the right Christmas card. It's this weird, like, I wonder if our moms went through a list in their mind of when they imagine the perfect mom who is just doing it, like, what does that list look like for her?
Yeah.
It's just this wild thing our culture has handed us of like, this is what it means to be a good mom. Hey moms, welcome back to the Gather Moms podcast. We are so glad that you're here as we are in our season of mom struggles and talking about all the struggles. Last time we talked about the struggle with hair. This week, what are we struggling with?
You better qualify that. They're going to think we're talking about the hair on our head. We were talking about the hair on our legs.
Toes, chins. Yes. I also have problems with hair on my head.
Yeah, but you've talked about that again. You're doing them vitamins.
I am. And maybe it's working.
That's also on my social feed. All these people be taking Nutrafol. Come on, Nutrafol. Do your thing.
It is so expensive. It should be magic, the price you have to pay for the monthly subscription.
Yeah, but then on your social the other day, you talked about your eyelash serum. You said that was expensive too. Friend, how many expensive products do we have over here?
Listen, ma'am, we're just throwing money at
I just bought some L'Oreal at the grocery store for like $12.
What's your L'Oreal for?
It's illuminating face not foundation. I don't know what you call it. It's illuminating something.
Oh, good for you. Okay, well, the lash serum really does work. That one has been a game changer, and I'm sticking with that. The others, I don't know. So this week, we are talking about the mom struggle of burnout. And I am curious to know from you, have you ever experienced burnout?
How many times in a lifetime can you experience burnout? Is it possible? Like once a month? Once every 6 months?
Yeah.
The time that I remember experiencing it the most was when I stopped working at the church to go home to be with the kiddos.
Okay.
Because I remember saying this phrase to myself, is this what God intended for my life?
Wow.
Because you get to that place where you're like, this just doesn't seem right.
Oh, man. Okay, so how old were the kids at that time?
I think Abby was 3. So it would have been 3, 8, and maybe 13 or 14. So middle school, elementary school, and at home with me.
And what do you feel like was contributing to that?
I just think I'd hit a new season of motherhood, and I was not able to keep doing the same amount of things I was doing in the previous season.
Yeah.
And you can't always make that decision to stop working because of financial need, but it worked in our favor for that season. And so I was able to go back home, and the relief that day that you walk out for the last time.
Well,
you're like, peace out, staffers. I'm going home.
I remember it. And that was a brave decision that you made. And you believe that you were walking into what God was asking you to do.
I knew without a doubt he was calling me home.
So then how did that mess with you then when it's like, wow, this is not what I hoped it would be?
Like the next morning. The devil comes for you immediately. He does not give you a break.
Yeah.
No, because I think you struggle with that. But you struggle with that even if you're a working mom.
For sure.
There's always something that you're not doing. Uh-huh. So there's always a way for the enemy to say, well, you should be doing this or whatever it might be. But no, honestly, I probably am still struggling with that a little bit because I've got part-time jobs now. So I don't really feel like I'm fully invested in one place.
Yep.
So you're just piecing together different things.
Yep.
And I think the enemy messes with you there too, because even though I knew God called me home and I knew I was supposed to be there and I can look back and see all the fruit, every time you turn around, you feel like, well, am I actually doing stuff that matters?
Yes. So how did you get to the point where you realized this is bad and I can't keep going like this and maybe need help or something has to give?
I don't think we ever know immediately, because sometimes you look at people someone from the outside can look in and say, oh girl, you got to stop.
Right.
But the person on the inside is like, no, I can do this a little bit longer. I can do this a little bit longer. You never know immediately that you're in burnout mode. It almost takes 6 months of terribleness
I agree.
to push you over the cliff to go, okay, I'm done. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But you wish, why didn't I know that? Like way back on month 1, why did it take me so long?
I don't know, but I agree. I think that's one of the big problems with burnout is it's not usually like obvious. And so we go through a season where it just pushes our limits so much that we find ourselves burned out. Or you may go through something catastrophic in your life or something big that happens and you hit burnout. So I remember the most recent thing that happened for me was we had some people in our family were going through a really hard time, and so they came to stay with us. And I felt like that was the right thing to do because they were in a bad spot. They needed a safe space, and so they came to stay. And so while they were here, you know, somebody though that is in a bad spot, then when they come into your space, they're bringing the things that they're struggling with them. And so then you're navigating that alongside of them and your family and helping them through it. And I tend to be a person who, you know, I think I can be overly empathetic where I take it on. You know, do you do that with some people? No, I know you're a lot better about it. You're a lot.
Then you can say that I'm cold a little bit because I don't take it on.
My husband is that way. It's like he can know that they're hurting and feel sympathy for them, but he doesn't enter into the pain in the same way. For me, I feel it so fully and it affects me so much. And so this went on for a few weeks. And then by the time the family left, I looked at Jeremy and I was like, that took every single thing I had plus. Like I have nothing left and I can tell I'm in a bad spot. And for someone who has struggled with depression I just think, you know, that's just one thing I'm a little bit more prone to, and it keeps me tethered to Jesus because I need him.
Right.
I have gotten more aware of what it feels like before I'm about to go in the pit. And so thankfully I said, I need to go see my counselor, and I went to see her and we came up with a plan. But Rebecca, what that meant for me was that I had to go spend a night in a hotel room, eat a good meal, and just like not talk to anybody, talk to God, go for big walks, and just like take a minute to evaluate, how am I going to get back some margin? Because this took everything I had and more. And now myself and my family are going to suffer if I don't figure out how to turn this around.
Well, that's the thing. When you don't know you're in burnout mode, your family is suffering.
Yeah.
But you're just managing the suffering because you're like, I don't know how to fix this right now. So we're just going to have to push through.
Yes.
Like burnout is not just you. Because we're moms, everything that affects us affects everybody down from us.
That old adage, you know, if mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe in the house, you know?
Yes, because we set the temperature in our homes, and everything can start to deteriorate. So burnout is, you know, other words for it are exhaustion or overwork from Urban Dictionary, which Urban Dictionary is always a trip. Like you never know.
Do you ever do Wikipedia? Is that the same thing as Urban Dictionary?
I mean, Urban Dictionary, I feel like is a little more like in the culture.
Legit?
I don't know.
I always feel like when I see Wikipedia, there's like a big glaring sign that says, don't read.
Yeah.
It's lies.
Yeah. It's a side eye. It's like, okay, I'm going to use this, but it's not the most credible source, you know? But Urban Dictionary said it's a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. Oh boy, if that ain't motherhood.
Is that like today? Was that yesterday? I feel like that's every day. What?
It's like you could exchange the definition for burnout for motherhood. Motherhood, a state of emotional, mental, physical exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. You know,
I hope this is encouraging to somebody listening right now.
I just think it's very real. I think it's very real. It's like, I just want to normalize the fact that, like, if you're feeling run down and exhausted, like, same sis, you know, we feel it.
Which is why when you meet a mom that's not in burnout mode, there's a little bit of you that's like,
yeah. What's the secret sauce?
What?
Yeah.
Like, I get jealous.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
P.S. we have some help coming for that. So stay tuned to Gather Moms for what we're rolling out for you in May. Hilariously, May is like, do you think it's the hardest month for moms?
I mean, I don't know, because right now feels hard. So is May going to be harder?
We call May Maycember. But okay, Rebecca, to be honest, you're really under it right now because you have a senior graduated from high school. And I think you are in an especially hard season. Just watching your life, I just think that's true for you.
You mean the financial aid meeting I'm having later today where they tell me how much money I'm going to owe for the next 4 years?
Yes. I think you're feeling that. And I have been...
Maybe May's going to be amazing for me then. Because maybe I'm going to get to May and be like, it's over.
Amazing.
I'm going to be amazing.
But with like a graduating senior, I remember my senior year in high school, like the number of, okay, obviously you don't remember anything, but the number of graduation parties, all my little girlfriends had all these little teas. We had, I mean, prom, all kinds of things.
I remember nothing.
Okay.
Must have been glorious.
Yeah, it was a wild bananas time. And for a girl, you got to have like 15 different dresses.
That's why I feel blessed. I have a boy. So I feel like on some spectrums, like I'm actually really like I won the lottery.
Yeah.
It's a boy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a boy.
It's a boy. You know, maybe I didn't want a boy straight off the bat when I got pregnant, but now I'm like, I'm so thankful I got a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, May can be amazing, but we have something coming out where we want to help you through it, and we want to help ourselves, honestly.
For us. Come on, let's just be truthful.
Because we know if we do these things that we challenge ourselves together in this accountable way.
And then we have to tell our husbands, I have to do this because it's for Gather.
Yeah.
So I have to be the example. So I'm doing all these things.
It's going to be highly motivating.
Highly motivating.
Okay, so we'll tease that out a little bit more. Next episode, you'll hear all about it. But be prepared. May is going to be amazing.
Amazing.
So let's talk about, back to the subject, symptoms of burnout. Now, this is where this is going to get a little womp womp. But I think let's be honest, there's like a general tiredness that comes with motherhood.
Yes.
But what we're talking about here really, you guys, is like true burnout where you're just in a bad place. Like you literally have nothing left. It's too much. What's being expected of you is too much. You're giving too much. It's honestly like something needs to give because it's not working. Because really then what starts to happen are these things. These are the symptoms. A general emptiness. There's like an apathy that comes with it where you're like, okay, well, here we go again. You know, we're just going to put our shoes on and move along. You know, like I've told my story before that my song in the morning when I had littles and I couldn't get out of the bed was Dolly Parton's dun, 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 dun. Tumble out of bed. And
I want you to know that when I see Dolly, I think of you.
Do you?
Anything in the world, in a store, a shirt, a button, like you are the image that, not her face, your face.
She's my homegirl.
You are the homegirl for Dolly Parton.
Can we just be honest though that, listen, Beyonce's coming out here with this Jolene. Dolly Parton has got that on lock. Oh my gosh, I totally thought of you. I was like, how dare you? Kate will never receive that. That is Dolly's song. Stop it. But I remember having littles at home and being so burned out and just getting up in the morning and just being like, well, it's coffee. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Let's just do it again. Here we go again. Mm-hmm. And just there comes this kind of apathy where you're just kind of going through the motions. Tired, low emotional energy. And then some people experience body aches, insomnia, changes in appetite. And then we definitely see it emotionally. Often we get short-tempered, impatient, angry easily, cry easier. And it really is just, a result of that emotional margin. And we've let it go on for too long, so we start to break down. But I want us to talk a little bit about what is making moms burned out, because this topic resonates with both of us. Mm-hmm. And so I want to hear from you. What do you think it is that is making moms burned out?
I mean, some of it's what we talked about in the last episode about mom guilt.
Yeah.
You feel like you're not producing enough, so you're overdoing it. Mm-hmm. You're carrying around some lie from the enemy that you're not a great mom, and so you're about to slay because you want to prove that you are. Yeah. Overcompensating?
Okay, overcompensating.
Yeah.
And then just these random pressures of like that you have to be at everything. Yeah. That you can't miss a single thing for yourself or for your kids. That while they're there, they have to have on the perfect monogrammed outfit with the perfect bow and the perfect backpack, and everybody's got to be clean and shiny. that you have to go on the right trips and take the right pictures and send out the right Christmas card. It's this weird, like, I wonder if our moms went through a list in their mind of when they imagine the perfect mom who is just doing it, you know, like, what does that list look like for her?
Yeah.
It's just this wild thing our culture has handed us of like, this is what it means to be a good mom.
You know, we were cleaning out Abby's closet the other day, and I think sometimes when you have too much, you feel burned out. Well, that's what we just said. But in the idea of like stuff.
Yeah.
And as soon as we cleaned out her closet, there was this immediate sense of lift.
Yeah.
Because there was less to take care of.
Ooh, girl. That's good.
So sometimes I think about, because I was just sitting here thinking, yeah, but what about the stuff I have to do? Like I have to do the laundry and I have to do meal prep. But do I have to do 12 loads, or could I just say to the kids, these are your 3 outfits for the next week? And we're just going to wash and rewear. Because when you take some of that off, it is freeing.
So, and that's my next question then is, you know, yes, there are all these things that are making moms feel burned out, which, by the way, let's mention a couple more, okay? Moms, when we look at research, studies are out there. Moms are the primary ones who are making the doctor's appointments, taking kids to the doctor's appointments, buying the groceries, cooking the meals, running the household. I mean, they're still the primary ones doing that.
Right.
Even though so many moms have gone back to work, the labor hasn't shifted.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's been something that's come up with mom struggles that we're just kind of looking at is there is a lot on our plates.
Right.
That we are managing in addition to just being a good mom. There's the whole homemaker piece of the deal.
Right.
So I think that's part of what contributes to burnout. But I think that we need to be really honest that we as moms are also contributing to our own burnout.
Yes. Agreed.
How do you think we're contributing to our burnout? Because you just started to touch on it.
Well, it's just the idea of like, I have to decorate for every holiday, or I have to, I mean, I have a bunny, but I didn't put it out at Easter this year. And you get to the end and you're like, oh, bummer, I missed the bunny. But then I didn't have to clean up the bunny. So there's a part of you that's like, okay, but that was worth it because it was one less thing for me to do.
Yes, but why do we feel this compulsion to decorate for every holiday? Like, why do we have to put out flags for 4th of July? Why do we have to put out pumpkins at fall?
Part of it's fun.
It is partly fun, but if you are already maxed to the margin, you've got to let some of that stuff go.
Cut it. You got to cut it. That's why with this whole meal thing, you know, like you always want to come up with a new meal to make. Why? It's ingredients I don't normally buy. So then I'm going to the grocery store again. I'm just going to make ranch style bean casserole for the 24th time and it's going to be fine.
Let me say, I don't think enough people talk about this. We eat the same 5 to 7 meals over and over and over. And let me tell you what, my people are happy.
They're happy.
And that way we're buying the same things at the grocery store. We're not putting out new mental, emotional energy because you try a new recipe. What if that thing goes sideways?
It always goes sideways because Greg's always like, why do you choose to make new things? Because they always go sideways.
I will tell you, I was like, you know, we haven't had pork chops in probably like a year. Why don't I put pork chops in the rotation? Jeremy's like, I'm just not a big fan of pork. I'm like, you know, then I want to murder him. But I know what he loves, so why don't I just keep serving what he loves?
Listen, I do have a friend that pork chops are on their weekly rotation. I just have this like draw to it. Like, well, that sounds enticing. Maybe we should try that. But you just reaffirmed to me, I don't need to try the pork chops. It's not in my It's not in my wheelhouse.
Okay,
sorry.
And I actually think pork chops are delicious, but I used to make them with like panko crusted pork chops, which are so good.
Anytime you crust something, your kitchen's a mess.
I know, but now with not doing gluten, I'm not panko crusting anything. Yeah. And it probably does take away a layer of fun.
Listen, you want to talk about gluten burnout? I mean, that's a whole nother episode.